Right, what are we looking at today? It is another Knippex. So with that, I will say, boosh, let's have a look. Now, forget this just happens to be a Maxpedition micro, but I have it in here. Now, this is just to show you how small it is. So bear in mind, a lot of Knippex tools can be quite big. I've got a pair of the big Cobras here. These are the 180s. You can tell by looking at the product code, and the last digits generally tell you what it is in millimeters. So this just happens to be the 180. This has the component handles, and then the burnished body, and then the polished head. So very nice. I really like this. The teeth have held up excellent on this, actually. Let's have a look. I have genuinely used this. Actually, there's a tiny bit of flattening going on. Crumbs alive. It's extremely small, though. There you can see a bit more there. See the high points there, how they've changed slightly. I actually pulled some, well, I didn't have another tool to hand, and I shouldn't have, but I actually used these. Man, it's a tiny little bit there. There's a tiny little bit in the middle. You see there? About there where my nail is. A little bit of flattening there. I used these to pull nails out of concrete. So imagine that. I didn't have the tool that I wanted. I should have used it. And I basically nipped onto them and then used leverage. But anyway, I'm getting off the subject here. So what we are looking at is the Knippex. It's the 8701125. And if you remember what I just told you before there, the last digits are size. So again, look at that. That's the 180s. And then I have like the Pliers wrenches. I think these are 180s. I find the 180s are about right for a lot of the work that I do. But look at the size of this. So I have it in my tiny little, I've got my micro ratchet here with an offset angle, and then a saber cut micro and a couple of heads. But this is what I got it for. I got it because it would fit in here, and I have this at the front of my tool bag. So rather than having to dish around, go, have I got those plier wrenches? Where are they? Where are they? These will fit in. Look at that. They fit in perfectly. Zips up, no problem. And I can just go, boom, right. I've now got a pair of Knippex Cobras. So let's get this out of the way. I will look at the actual item before we discuss handle types and all that malarkey. So these are the Knippex. So they are made in Germany, and I have checked that, and it does say made in Germany. They are genuinely made in Germany. It also says it on the channel, and I got them from a reputable dealer. So they are the real deal. They're not these knockoff ones you can get on some of the dodgy sites. And like I say, it is the 8701125. These come with the hardened teeth. They are saying that, I'm pretty sure it's something like 61 HRC induction hardened. So that's well up there. I haven't used them very much, so obviously the teeth are pretty perfect looking if you have a look at them there. Yeah, really, really nice. I've always loved the Cobras, especially when you're working on strange fastenings or you can't quite get into areas. They just work beautifully. So there's the geometry you can see. Really, really nice. Basically, this design, it's a pair of channel locks. I realise channel lock is a brand name, but channel lock came up with, well, you know, where it's lockable through channels. Although to be fair, these aren't technically channel locks. The Knippex are slightly different, so they don't have the channels. They have this sort of like cut-out design, slightly different, but it's the same principle where you can lock at a certain position. So this is spring-mounted here. And the same with this. So you have this spring-mounted section here, which locks it into place, so that isn't going to go anywhere. And then because this is held there by a screw, so there's a screw and then a piece of spring steel there, that'll push through like that, boom, and then you can make the adjustment. And if I remember rightly, I think they are saying there's 13 positions in total, so you've got one there, which is your maximum, and then it goes right down to your smallest there when you're using small fasteners. Because of this size of this, it's still pretty capable. They are claiming on the 125 model anyway. They are saying this will go down to pipes small as sort of 29mm and nuts 27mm, so that's pretty good. And just the geometry in these, I've always liked these. I realise there are other brands, you know, Irwin, Vice Grip and all the others, and Klein Tools or whatever. You don't have to get Knippex, but I just find that I've never had a bad Knippex. They're always a joy to use, and that's why I got these. So the overall weight of these, they're tiny. The overall weight of these, 85 grams. Look, I can almost hide that in my hand. Obviously the handles are sticking out, but if I do that, it's hard to know that was there. Minuscule, but extremely nice to use. In regards to actual handles, you will notice, I just want to show you the various types of handles on the Knippex. That just happens to be an electro one. So here's the standard. Well, I mean, we used to call it plasti dip. I don't know what they call it now, because, and I don't even know if they do the same now. This is probably shrunk wrap fitted. I don't know with heat, but they used to just dip them in, and then that's why you'd get this little nubbly bit on the end, like you were making candles, and it's slightly dripping off. I've got no problems with these whatsoever. They're not the grippiest though. They're very, very shiny. They're like a gloss finish, which is fine because it's easy to clean. You know, when you get like strange tarry stuff and you think, what in the hell is that? And you get the Swartz figure out, you can generally I just put a little bit on, leave it, and then you just sort of give it a good wipe and they'll come off sort of brand new, really nice. Moving up from that, you then have like this, which is, it's like a cross between Plasti Dip, but it's weird. So it has a bit of grip. Can you see this texture there? I'm not sure how they get that texture. They either imprint that before it's set, or by the looks of it, but probably what they're doing is, when this sets, maybe it creates a load of bubbles, and because of that you get this slight texture. Can you see that? I'm trying my best to get a good shot of it there. I've done this in 4K. See that? Now that is much grippier than that. That is like glossy. You can see the light on it there. There's no bumps. That's much more grippy. It's got a little bit of give to it. I'll try and show you with my thumbnail. It's got a little tiny bit of give, not a lot though. And then up from that you have the component handles, which I find, maybe it's because I've got bigger hands, but I certainly find them, they're a lot more bulky, and you tend to find them on the slightly larger ones. I couldn't find any on the 125s. I wasn't able to get the component version of that, but I suppose it's going to make, you're trying to get a tiny tool, do you really want it with humongous handles like that? You know, well, to be fair, there's the Cobra with the component handles there. So you have this plastic here, and then this other plastic which is softer. It's very, very nice, extremely nice. In fact, one of my favourite pliers is the needle nose with the component. I just find, because of this ridge, I'm able to manoeuvre them. They don't have to be spring loaded. I'm able to do that, look, in and out. I love that design. And there's a little bit of that going on here. You can sort of open it up, but it's more gravity related. I've never had any problems with that, but I wasn't able to find that handle. So this handle comes in what I would consider the mid-range handle. It's perfectly nice. And how much torque do you need on something this big? Probably not that much. So it does come with a polished head. Now the polished head isn't here. That is the coating there, the burnished. They've only polished that bit, so they've probably done that and then gone on a machine, and the same with that one, done. Now I would call this like burnished or sort of blackened. I prefer this. I always oil my tools, but I will say that I do like the chromed stuff because it's a hell of a lot easier to keep looking after. And if you ever have to put these in a wet van or a crappy environment where there's a lot of heat and humidity, you will find tiny little bits of rust, and it's really irritating when you've spent a lot of money on a tool. So chrome, you're avoiding that, or this, you are avoiding it. Yes, this comes off over time, but I'd rather have this than not have it. They are calling this, I think they call it something like a traumatized. I've never heard that term, but it's basically, there's a sacrificial layer on there, and I don't mind that look. I think it looks pretty cool. I was happy to look, when I had a look on the website, the spare parts are available. So let's say you completely foul this up, you get it caught and smash it, or something goes wrong, you can actually buy that button there. See that button that goes in and out? This piece of spring steel and that screw there, which looks like a Torx head of some sort. So if you ever knack that, you can just buy the spare parts for a couple of quid and you're back in business. So extremely happy to see that. In fact, very, very happy to see that, because too often these days we are buying tools that we consider throwaway, and I think it's a shame because we're wasting so many resources just get something nice. In regards to size, these are the smallest. That's why I got them, because they would fit in my tiny kit here. So these come in the 125. You can get the 150s, the 180. So I'll show you the 180. Bear in mind this is the component handle, slightly different. Let's look at this. Let's look at the size difference. That's the 180 there. Different handles though. So you're getting much bigger in size. It goes up to 250, and then the big 300s. I think there is special bigger ones, but they're more a special edition, and I didn't see them on the site. And again, you can get the chromed finish. So these are the traumatized, or whatever you want to call it. And this is your sort of chrome finish. This chrome vanadium, and it generally says on the larger tools, if I can find it, there you go. It'll have something like vanadium there. So chrome vanadium just means, again, it's not really a sacrificial layer. Chrome is pretty good and pretty resilient, and it will stay. Generally with some tools it can make it a tiny little bit more, and I'm talking tiny, infinitesimally smaller, bit more slippery, which you might not want, especially on like something like the combination pliers here. But for what I use these for, these are electricians ones. I don't really care. I'm not trying to grab onto something to save my life. They're just small little jobs. But I'm more than happy with this finish, more than happy. But you're generally paying another couple of quid for that, for getting the chrome there. So like I say, I'm very, very happy with this. It's got the 61 HRC, which is extremely good. It's got this nice grippy handle. I'll try and get a close up there so you can see what it looks like. It's got that little bit of grip there. Made in Germany. not just designed in Germany. Or they do that. I hate that. Designed, American designed. I don't care where it was designed. Where was it made? Because that can sometimes, not always, sometimes be an indication of the level of quality that you're probably going to get. And I use the word probably because there are always exceptions to the rule. I accept that. But it would be nice to know where these things are actually made, and these are from Germany. So extremely happy with this. Very small. Like I say, I've used the larger Cobras with the component handles. I've used them for jobs they're not even designed for, and they've never let me down. I've got a load of Knippex stuff around the house. I've always loved them. So I would say, let's give this a mark out of 10. But basically, I'm going to give this a high mark because you can get these spare parts. Not a lot of tools would offer you that, which is a shame. These have been rock solid so far. I've only used them a few times. I've really not put them to a lot of use because they're specialists, or they're going to be for smaller jobs where I need to get in it somewhere. You can use these for pipes and things like that, and that's because of the grip here. It's pretty impressive. There's a big range of fasteners you can use that on. I probably wouldn't want to use these on a fastener where I don't want to mar the surface. If you've got that need, you're probably going to have to go for this. So because of the way this works, no matter what setting you've got, these jaws are always parallel and they've got a smooth finish on them. So when you go into a hex nut and turn, you're not causing any damage, whereas this is going to take a little bit of damage. This is so hard as well. This isn't going to suffer, but the fastener is. So if you want something with a nice finish, people are going to look at that and go, what's happened to that top of that nut there? It looks a bit... Yeah, it is a bit, especially if you're using a high torque on this. So just bear that in mind. But I'm going to give this a 9. I can put that in my jeans pocket, no problem whatsoever. For me, it's just brilliant. And I'm loving the Knippex stuff. It's really, really nice. So I'll give you a quick close-up and then I'll let you get on with your day. So there's a little close-up with a polished head there, you can see, with the grips. There's the push button, and you can see it stands out a little bit. And then you have the 13 sections there, holes where you can get those 13 settings there. Knipex Cobra, made in Germany. Beautiful handle. I'll show you the top and the other side. And there's that spring steel which provides the springiness for this look. And then you have your torque screw which goes through, and then you can see it going through into the middle. Beautiful. Really, really nice. There's nothing on this where I think, ooh, there's a bit of workmanship issues there. Perfect. Really, really nice. There you go. Beautiful. And when I got it, it came with a little bit of light machine oil on. Nice to see. There, can you see it? Tiny little bit. Just around here. So perfect. They've done an exceptional job. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Perfect. I will be using this, so if I find any problems, I will let you know. But I wanted to just make this quite nice and quick because it's a small tool, straight to the point. 9. Yeah, I think that's fair. 9 out of 10. Beautiful so far. I've only used it on a few jobs, but it was a pleasure to use, and I will keep using it, and I'll update you. So if you think, well, that's a load of rubbish, why don't you get a vice grip? Why don't you get an Irwin? Why don't you get this or that or Husky or whatever? Stick it down below because we'll discuss it. Because if there's something this good for less money, I want to know all about it, because let's help each other out here. I'll stick a link down below, but it'll be a manufacturer's link. I'm not trying to make any money out of an affiliate link. So thank you very much, and I will let you get on with your day. So goodbye.